Right, okay, let's start then. So,
hello guys, do I know you?
yeah,
He's going to sit with us for 2 hours.
You two are just ranting out for 2 hours, is it?
Big thanks to our guest Just, who's now going to talk about his other list, which he's compiled for today. He's also just made us tea, which is good.
Say, is it
Thank you very
a cup
much.
of tea, or do you really want my company?
It's a lovely cup of tea.
And where are we today, Just? By the way,
we're at a music college in Brighton called Access to Music,
okay.
And we're in the very, very freezing cold Studio 8. If only I knew you were coming earlier, I might have been able to book you a bit of luxury. But we're all right. Yeah,
It's good.
Yeah, I'm more comfortable. Yeah, exactly.
We've got sofas and we've got sofas.
The within tends to
we've got sofas and tea. What more do you
get? The within where we record the others tends to get quite hot.
Yeah.
Justin, so it's actually a nice
Generally
change.
ask the guests to just go down their pants really quick. Second half.
Yeah.
I'll come along to the next one. So isn't that not just the alcohol you consume?
It's half an hour. Yeah.
You don't play some sort of card game.
No.
We just pants at the end of it. Yeah.
We have naked Vinyl Friday. So bring Pleasure Dome.
We've got the gold star.
Trevor Horn will be with me.
Okay, right. So, what's your next list, Just?
Well, again, we moved on from what you sent over. I quite like the idea of just maybe, as it's later in the day, just talking about a few records that I particularly like.
Brilliant.
If that's cool with you.
Sure.
I kind of think I've kind of done with the 80s for a bit.
Yeah.
I'd like to move into sort of now, maybe.
Okay.
You know, so maybe some of these records are still, I guess, big influences on me, whether it be professionally or just in my life. Somehow, you know. So I thought, again, it's really difficult to try and pinpoint 5. I mean, I understand that 5. We have to sort of draw a line somewhere. But like you say, you just invited me to your bar, and that we can come up with another 5. But for now, I mean, I guess I thought I'd start somewhere where my life started to change was when I moved out of London with my wife, and we moved to Devon, and the music that sort of.
When was this, Just? This is post Elastica?
Post Elastica, yeah. So post Elastica, kind of the 90s was well and truly done.
Yeah.
And from you and I, we.
Because for anyone that wasn't sure, you was in Elastica as well.
We played keyboards in Elastica, and we got together. And we decided we needed to move out of London, or wanted to move out of London. One, it was financially too expensive, and we didn't really have a place to go. But we'd been to a party in Tintagel with a friend of ours, and we thought it'd be a good idea to go down there for 6 months and see what it was like. We didn't know anybody down there, and the fools that we were, we moved right at the beginning of Foot and Mouth. So not only did we not understand what Foot and Mouth was, first of all, but we moved to a cow farm right at the start of Foot and Mouth. So this farm was right on the edge of Exmoor, and we didn't really know Exmoor was around the corner because it was pre-internet really as well. So we couldn't really work out our bearings or geographically where we were. We just basically pitched up on this farm for the 6 months, which then led up, and we stayed there for 4 years, and then we bought the business and bought a house in Devon. Well, we were down there for 9 years. But
I love it,
you know, that early years were really. I kind of got to having only been in bands really since school. If you take it right back from school, because my dream was just to play drums in bands. That's what I was always going to do. That's what I still do to some degree. And I needed a change. I wanted to do something different. You know, I wanted to see what other things I could do. So we kind of basically for a year didn't really do a great deal. One, we couldn't leave the farm that much other than going to shops or whatever. But just sort of try and do some different stuff. I mean, it was at the end of Elastica, but we still had a little bit of hope that we might be able to do another record. So we kind of emptied out the storage in London with our equipment, took it down and set up a little studio in the spare room in the middle of nowhere, you know. But of that time, I mean, it was great. We had a brilliant time. It was really sort of finding ourselves and just going feral for a while. You know, instead of sort of just, you know, just hanging around in the same old jeans or whatever, just going feral for a bit. I think everyone needs to do it in their lives at some point and not sort of be dictated to by their jobs or whatever, or they're just their normal family lives or whatever. It's good for the soul, I think. So this is what we did. We sort of didn't do a lot. We sort of wrote some music, we dug some holes and put some seeds in the ground and watched them not grow, or watched them grow in some cases. You know, just do some different things. Just try and find yourself to do some different things. And then, you know, sooner or later, we didn't have any real income coming in.
Had you stopped all music as such at that point?
Well, not really, because I was still playing. I did a tour, actually. I did a tour with a metal band called... That was my metal bit.
There we go.
James Star. Do you remember those?
Who?
James Star with Giz Butt from Prodigy.
Oh, really? No, bloody hell, you got there's some links there.
But I did, to be honest with you, I didn't particularly enjoy it. It wasn't something that... But I thought it would be challenging. And I did a German tour, which I was promised the earth with their hotels and with the beginners, and it was just a nightmare, you know.
Really?
And even Giz, you know, I'll get him one day for this, and I'll say it but even like, you know, he turned around to me after one of the gigs and he says, you can be in the band, you can join the band, but you've got to get drumming lessons. And I always remember that. I thought, fuck you, asshole. You know, I don't want to be in your fucking shit band anyway. So that was the end of that. That was my introduction to metal. Excuse me, I just grabbed my tea. But yeah, music was changing. You know, I've got the deck set up and everything changing. And the record that really stood out to me at the time was Original Pirate Material by the Streets. It's just still a brilliant, brilliant record. I mean, there's so much in that album. You know, we were doing a little job, I think, like a little decorating job in this cafe, and it came on Original Pirate Material. And or has it come to this? I can't remember. But it was just stood out. It's just massive.
It really did stand out. I remember hearing Has It, because that was when I first heard Has It Come to This, and I was like, well, what is this? Because, you know, Garage where I lived was massive. So at the time I was living in Basildon, and Garage was a fucking huge scene. And then I'd been to, it was around my uni days, and I remember hearing that being like, this is confusing, because he's just talking over this effectively. But it's brilliant. You know, there's a lot to it, and, you know, his reasons for writing it is recording, mate. Sorry, guys, he's pointing at the laptop thinking it's collapsed. No, he's recording, it's not tracing it for some reason. Yeah, like at first, I genuinely didn't particularly like it. First time I heard it, I was like, what? And then my ears tuned into it, and I was blown away. I think Turn the Page was the one that actually hooked me in, and then I was like, oh, fucking hell. Right, I get it now. Right.
But for me on that record though, it was almost like he was sort of singing, or not singing. He was rapping. He never called himself a rapper, did he? He was. Let's just say, for argument's sake, he was saying how it was about the 90s in many ways. He was sort of killing it off, but talking about all those parties and all those places I'd been to and all those people I'd met. In his lyrics, even though I had no connection whatsoever, that was his story. It just sort of it got me. It kind of I could relate to it. You know, I knew all the characters that he was talking about. And like I said to you earlier, sometimes the lyrics have never always not always been the priority in music for me. It's kind of just how it feels. It could be the music, you know, the rhythm, the drums, or whatever. But lyrically, it got it. I got it
definitely
really early on. I just thought it was an amazing record. Amazing. It still is. I mean, my copy is trash. I'm proud to say it's that. It's probably the worst record in my collection, and not because the content of it's been abused, and abused. And I'm kind of proud of the way it looks. If I lost that record, I could buy another copy, but it wouldn't be that.
It's not that one.
It's
not the one that the one that you want to hold close to your chest.
There's not even the groove's gone. It's just smooth almost. Cover's ripped. It's got some beer. It's got stains all over the thing. It's horrible, but it's that copy.
I think that's how Mike Skinner would want it as well, wouldn't it?
Exactly.
It really lived it.
We around just a little bit after that. I did a tour with Pip. It was the first tour we did called Kindness to Strangers tour, which involved me and him getting in a van, which wasn't a proper a touring van. It was like a gold Toyota Galaxy. It was like a 6-seat, and we'd put the seats down to sleep in it of the night. And we'd tour the country, and he'd do his sort of spoken word, sort of poem rap sort of style, which was in ways there's contrasts to be drawn between comparisons to be drawn between Skinner and Pip, but all the places we went, we keep on coming across these UK rap acts, and they were shit. And it was because they were trying to replicate what they were doing over in the States.
Yeah.
They were trying to be Q-Tip, or they were trying to sound cool and a bit gangster, and it just doesn't work. I don't think it translates. I think the grime scene's translated it in their own way, but we can't do US rap, and I think Skinner knows that. And he never tried. He tried to go, well, that's not me. I love all that stuff. I love Wu-Tang and all that other shit, but there's no point in me trying to mimic that because it's going to sound crap. And so he went that route, and bravely, and it is a standout record. It is a
standout, but also we were saying about they kind of keeping to his sort of Britishness, if you like. The fact that Britpop was all kind of finished and finally disappeared, and he was still so very British.
Yeah.
But he'd come out, 5 years before, in the height of 95.
Yeah.
It would have been maybe he would have created a different genre altogether. He was still very British. And he did that. He did that album on his laptop, which was really inspiring for me as well, because I just obviously moved out of London. Not a great program. I had a little bit of a kit, had an old Atari sampler, stuff like that. But the fact this kid had done it on his laptop, and then fucked off to Spain chasing a girl or whatever like that. Just finished. I wrote the lyrics there. It's like, so anyone can do this. Really, it was a real moment of anyone can go out making music.
Absolutely, and it was the shape of things to come, really, wasn't it?
Yes.
That's the thing there. I'm sure you see in this building here, kids.
Oh, loads of them. Yeah, loads of kids doing it. And some of them really good. Some of them really good. But I listened to his audio. I listened to the audio book of his story. I don't know if you've heard that.
No.
Because he narrates it as well. Which is
my God.
So it's really funny. And he was a big Oasis fan.
Yeah.
Because he would have been as a kid. He played guitar. His brother played drums.
I remember him saying he used to play Smashing Pumpkins songs to his girlfriend. He was
quite into his rock and metal stuff.
Yeah.
He didn't like Blur. He didn't like that side of it. And ironically, he ended up living, renting a flat just off Ladbroke Grove later on in his career, and it was like you could hear the Blur outside quite often. But he was really influential. I mean, it's a shame he's not making music now, although he is. He is. He's
actually. Yeah, he is. But it's kind of he sort of crosses. Because we're club night promoters, he does one himself, and he makes some really good stuff. He's producing stuff. He works with a lot of different people as well.
He was doing the dot, wasn't he, with Rob from the music?
I think he's done it.
I know they were doing quite a lot together, and he come off Twitter, didn't he, Mike Skinner? So I think he was a bit of a Twitter superstar, wasn't he?
Possibly. Actually, he does talk about it. I recommend him.
Oh, I'm definitely glad that. He did actually, he guested on Pip's podcast, didn't he?
I think once he settled down, I think, because obviously his life was pretty full on.
Yeah.
And he started getting fits or something like that, as far as
really?
And obviously the amount of drugs he was taking and the booze.